Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the deluxe Bragigas from Zyuden Sentai Kyoryuger. So this is our large mecha for this year, the one that is usually the most expensive and the biggest and costs the most on shipping. So we're going to go ahead and start the review. Just a word of warning, the spices may be spicy in here, so you best watch out. No, the space may be a little tight, just because this is such a large mecha and you know, I don't have enough space, but I'm going to definitely try to do my best to not crowd you so much. Anyway, so let's go ahead and just take a look at it aesthetically. Right now I have his little tailpiece closed. You can also have it open, which I'll show in a minute. But overall, I really dig him. I really dig his design. I think the mech in this mode actually looks pretty nice. I just really like the way he looks. And honestly, he's my favorite of the Bragi-oh mecha we've gotten. One thing that's really neat is that he has the Guardians incorporated into his design. You can see here, sort of on his legs here, and then on the top here, there are some here too. You can see right here, there's some incorporated, which is just a really neat design choice that they, I don't know, just a really cool detail that they added into it. Let me see. I lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, that's how he looks. Pretty big, pretty impressive, pretty awesome. My only real complaint in this mode, which is the same complaint I have for Bragigas, is or for Gigant Bragio, is these little things, which are used for transformation for Gigant Kyoryuzin, but right now they just look really stupid sticking off of there, and they just kind of get in the way. So if I ever display in this mode or the other one, I'll likely just take them off, but for right now they store there. So you can also, like on the box it has it, in particular, you have this open, like this, which is where the batteries are going to go, and something just popped off. Oh, it was one of those stupid things. And you can have his tail like that, you can see. Which just takes up a lot of space. It takes up a lot more space. There goes his head. I didn't mean to grab him from there, but yeah, that takes up a lot of space. But it's kind of necessary to show off the batteries. I'm actually going to, once I get his damn head back on, take off his tail, just because that's taking up a lot of space, and I need to be able to show this. So just imagine that his tail is there when you're looking at this. But that's pretty much what it looks like, plus a tail when it's open. So the reason for that is in here, there is slots for all of the Gigan Zyudenchi, which is really neat. You can just put any Zyudenchi in there, it really doesn't matter. You can see this red piece around here. This is the only slot that actually matters for sounds. So you'll get the same sounds if you put the one Zyudenchi in the important slot, or if you put all of them in, you put 3 in, whatever, it really doesn't matter. But so yeah, he's got sounds, obviously. He does come with a Zyudenchi, like all good Kyoryuger mecha. He's got the Bragigas. Here we go. There it is, all in Braven mode. You know, typical Zyudenchi fare. It's got a really nice shine to the silver paint right here. This is Bragigas back there. We'll just take a quick cutaway to take a look what it does in the Gabba Revolver. Alright, so these are the sounds in the Gabba Revolver. Obviously, Bragigas is used, or this is the sounds in the regular Gabba Revolver. I wish I had a Gabba Revolver. I am now crying inside. So I'll just show the sounds in this, because this is all I have, okay? So those are the transformation noises. You can do the attack noise too. And now I picked a battery at random to be the lucky winner to show the double sounds. And switch it out. Alright, we'll now return to normal Ryu Dawson, who was also wishing he had a Gigant Revolver. Alright, so yeah, that's what that does. So now, there's not really too much to go over. You've pretty much seen the way this guy looks. Now we're going to go over the sounds. Oops, on the back here, there's an on-off switch, so just let's turn that on. And he makes the typical activation noises. Now when you have nothing in him, he makes these sounds when you press on the button. I don't know if you saw back here, it's a red button right here, so that's why I'm reaching behind here all the time. So he just makes those roaring noises, and then just to show you so I don't forget, if you hold it down, it does that. So then the Zyudenchi works in here pretty much like the other ones where you put it in their mouth, but it works a little differently because all the sounds are in this base. So let's see, let me show this right. Okay, so pull this down and push the Zyudenchi in here, and then close it in there, and then you're going to want to pull it all the way up. So you get those traditional noises, but like I said, all the sounds are in here, so the way it actually works is there's actually a button behind here that corresponds to this, and so you have to make sure you pull this all the way down so that it hits it. So, because if you go like this, it's not going to work, because you're not hitting the button. So that's how that works, which is pretty neat, you know, the way they figured out how that works, since these have to be separate pieces. So now the main sounds come from here. I'm going to go ahead and put in a bunch of Zyudenchi just to see how, show you how it looks. I'll put well, I guess I can put them all in here. So I'm just going to put Bragigas right here. Because I have all but one of the Guardian Zyudenchi, which is Kentro Spiker. But I have Dino Chaser in the bikes. I didn't want to undo the bike. I'm lazy, I guess. And I have, I think Dinos Grander is in the Xander Thunder. I know I have it, I just couldn't remember where I put it. So I'm just using the majority of them, and then I think I got a couple stand-ins. I think I got like the Kyoryuger Special Battery, and I think a Super Sentai Zyudenchi in here. But you'll still get the effect of being able to put all these Zyudenchi in here, which is neat. So you see, we're still missing one. One of them rolled away, there we go. There's the Gao Ranger one, there we go. There we go, you can have all those Zyudenchi in there, which is really neat, obviously, because it's just like in the show. It can look pretty cool if you have them all there, and honestly just makes a great place to store them. So when you have all those in there, when you press the buttons, I'm going to just pan it up a little bit, because it seems weird not to be looking at his face for some reason. It will sort of cycle through the sounds of the Guardians. If I can find the damn button back here. Come on, button. There we go. Ready? Let's go. I like how it does the ones I don't have first. All three of them. Oops, okay, there we go. It cycled back. So you get it saying its name and its little special sound, and like I said, that works no matter if you have all these Zyudenchi or not. So if for whatever reason you're just buying Bragigas, you can just use that Zyudenchi. You're not going to need to put all of them in there. So now we will transform this into Gigant Bragio. In order to do that, we're essentially going to start disassembling some things. Let's go ahead and when we close this up, this will actually make a noise. So it'll say that. So then we'll take off of his head like we were before, and then take off his actual face, and we're just going to set these aside briefly. And now after that, it's pretty much just a stand-up deal. Let's see. So like I said, this is kind of a tight space. So for this, you just stand up his legs, you just shift them around, and there's little pegs and holes, and they'll snap in. That pretty much works both ways. So like when you're pulling it back, you just snap it in back here, or snap it in here. So that's pretty easy. And then up here, you just pull down his arms, and then, god dang it, camera, can you just look at everything? And then fold it so that these little things are shifting out, and fold them up. Same thing here, I forgot to pick up that plastic piece, that's funny. So the plastic piece is going to go back here. But so yeah, it's pretty much just a stand-up deal, which is really easy. So that's nice. And then at the top here, you're just going to take what was his face and just pull this down. And it snaps in right here. And then his face went back in. Damn it, I didn't mean to do that. So there you pretty much have it. Now we just have to make his weapon, which is very simple. All you do is place this on top, and then he's got little holders here for it, and you place it in, and he's got his giant staff weapon, and there he is, Gigant Bragi-oh. And just to complete his little transformation, press the button again when he's in this mode. So pretty cool. To be honest, I also really dig this formation. I just in general like this mech. I liked it in its Bragi-oh mode, and I like it in this mode. I think it looks really badass. Really cool. You can see some more of the Guardian designs on there. I just think it looks really cool, and it's got the giant staff weapon. Just really cool design here. And then obviously, like with all Sentai mech, really no articulation. You can swing his arms around 360 if you want, and that's really about it. But really cool, just a side view here. It looks a lot better if you take these off, honestly. So whenever I would display it in this mode, I would definitely take those off. But yeah, very cool. On the back here's the little Guardian faceplate, which is going to be for Gigant Kyoryuzin. Spoiler alert. But yeah, very cool. He is definitely a big brick, just like a lot of mecha, especially these larger ones at the end. But I think he looks really awesome. And I like how easy his transformation is. It's just, you know, super quick. I like how quick his transformation is. How quick is it? Quick. Alright, so now we will do Gigant Kyoryuzin. I think I'm going to go ahead and sort of get him ready first before we put in Kyoryuzin, because we're already kind of crowded in here with him being all big. And we're going to kind of need more than that now. So in order to do that, I am going to take this piece off here, and then take this piece off, which is actually a separate piece for the helmet. So we'll set those aside. It essentially involves a lot of reassembling. And then we'll take this off and set it aside as well. Take his head off. Man, we're just taking everything off. And then on the back here, you saw these pieces. We're going to take them off. Take this piece off. We're essentially taking everything off and setting it to the side. And then take these pieces off here. And we're actually going to combine them. So just take these two pieces here, and there's little pegs and holes, and you're going to set this up like that, and it's all ready. So now you can set that aside. Now we're going to take his arms off and set them aside. Take his legs off. And I'm actually going to go ahead and, once his leg comes off, and get this sort of ready. I'm not sure how well it will stand, but I'm going to get it ready. Nonetheless. So what you'll do for this is you're going to actually want to make sure, where is it, that this piece is on here. Because otherwise it's not really going to work at all. So you got to make sure that's on here. So it's going to be facing this way. And then you're going to take what were, that falling over, what were his arms. And they're now going to become legs, sort of. They're kind of like a leg stand. And you're going to, well, not place them there. That was just an instinct. You're going to place them right here on these pegs. You could get it on. Actually, it doesn't feel very secure. It's going to feel a little bit better once we get everyone together. But right now, it just does not feel secure. Oops, I had it right the first time. Pardon me for a second. It's hard to do with one hand. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we're going to put them in here. So as you can see, that wouldn't work if you didn't have the staff piece on there, because otherwise there would be nothing to plug this into. Which is kind of a flimsy piece to base it off of. So you're going to pretty much have that. So I'm going to set that there. Oops. Now for these pieces, they're going to become the sort of slippers for Kyoryuzin. And to do that, it's really simple. Just fold this in, fold this out, and it's going to become this flat piece. And hopefully in the process, this piece will fold up. It usually folds back down easier. So the same bit here, fold those together, and then make sure this folds up, because it's going to be a peg for Kyoryuzin. So let's see, I think that's pretty much all the prep I want to do. I'm going to sort of set this out of the way. I keep waiting for that to fall over, honestly. And we're going to bring in Kyoryuzin. Now warning, nudity content, he is helmetless, because I went ahead and already took it off. So for Kyoryuzin, you're really not going to be doing a lot to him. You're just going to be putting stuff on him. You're going to take the backpack off, which see I've already put the helmet in. and you're going to close it up, and we're going to need that in a minute. So we're going to essentially put his slippers on. That's what we're going to do. He's pretty cold. It's really cold here right now. And we're going to put it on the bottom. See, this peg was important for this. And do that here. And I'm like, why isn't this working? It's just upside down. Stupid Dawson is stupid. And then when you set him down, you want to make sure his legs are really far apart. That sounds really nasty when I say it like that, but it's important. And then you're going to attach this thing to the back of him. So right there you can see the pegs are all ready for it, and it's going to become like a giant backpack with feet. And it's not the most stable thing, but it's actually not too terrible when you're trying to move it. So I'm totally twisting this entire background right now. I like how I'm like, it's not the most stable thing, and then his leg plops off. Alright, so now that his backpack's on, we can start, tighten everything up. We got this faceplate here. You actually want to slide these little pieces out, and it's going to go on the front of him. I don't know why this is difficult. Come on. There we go. And then this piece, which is right here, is actually going to become a helmet. Snaps right on. And then this piece that was on the weapon is just going to snap right on here to complete it. And then you're going to, well, let's do this first, because it's easier. You can just store this in the back. Just kind of back on top of here. Top of his giant backpack. There we go. And then you're going to take this, and you'll see this little slide port here. Kind of, it goes on top of where you can't see. It goes on top of here. It's kind of difficult to see from right here, but it's going to slide right there. And he's going to get a giant helmet. So that's good enough for now. Okay, so now we're actually going to need a couple other guys in a second. Take this combined piece. I'm going to slide it here. Wait, gotta get it right. So that it slides on. Alright. There we go. It's got to click on the sliding piece on the bottom. Okay, and then we're actually going to need Parasagan. So, you actually want him to open up. This little gun just came undone. Okay, so you're going to pretty much slide him on like a normal Zyudenchi. There we go. Just get him in there. Come on. There we go. So now he's got a giant gun. And then take Zaktor, and he is going to go on top of. I'm doing it backwards. I forgot to open his mouth there for a second. That was dumb. It closed while I was on the floor. He was just tired. So then that's going to become the sort of giant staff piece. As you can see, look how small the space is getting. And then just use the other thing here. I still have Stego's sword on just because I like to keep it there so I don't use it. Or use it, lose it. I'm just so afraid I'm going to use his sword. So, damn it. As soon as he holds it, we'll have Gigant Kyoryuzin. There we go. We have Gigant Kyoryuzin once you hold the damn weapon, son. There we go. As you can see, quite a large thing. Look, that's what she said. But look at that. That is really tall. He's got the giant head. He's got all these awesome, like, sword lances. Zord lances. And a giant Zord gun on top. I feel like these are up too much. But whatever. But I actually really like it. It does look a little funny, you know, with the giant crown and whatnot, but I do kind of dig it. It certainly does make use of a good amount of Zyudenchi. I really wish we would have gotten one that combined all of them, or at least the main 10 somehow. I don't know how they would engineer it. They would obviously have to do some things differently, but it still would have been cool just because I really like those ones where they incorporate pretty much all the mech, just because it's really easy to store collection-wise, and it's kind of impressive. They had it almost with Go Busters. It was like everyone but Tatagami Lyo or everybody but Cheetah, with the exception of Frogs. But yeah, I still would like to see that, and I hope maybe in the next year or so we get one of those. But this is still pretty awesome looking. Like I said, I really dig its design. And then this we saw earlier, but this is the little faceplate he gets with all of the Zyudenchi, or the Zyudenryu, and the Guardians. So that's a pretty cool thing to have on there. He does have one more sound on him. Let me find the button without knocking anything over. You just have to hold down the button as opposed to pressing it from when he was in Gigant Bragi-oh. So. So there you have it for the sound. Alright, and then we have one final formation, which is essentially him using his giant backpack as a battery weapon. And we're also going to need this piece now. So I'm going to take Zaktor off. You could put him in regular dinosaur mode and having him sitting in front, but I don't need any more space being taken up right now. And then we're just going to take his backpack, which already sort of snapped off halfway, and we'll set him back here. So he takes a lot less space up without this backpack. So yeah, let me get a little bit better of an angle. So we're essentially going to reform this a little bit. Take his legs off here. And we are going to now actually place them where I instinctually put them before. On here. Like so. And then, let me set this down for a sec. And then you're going to reassemble Bragigas' head. And he's actually going to go underneath here. See those two pegs and holes? And he'll sort of act as a stabilizer right here for this. Let me see, I'm trying to figure out the best way to show this so that I can actually get everything on camera. Like I said, I could put Zaktor up front a little bit so that he's kind of standing with them, but I'm not going to do that. Just kind of leave everything a little space saving. So then you press this button to open up the latch. I don't know if I mentioned that before, and if I didn't, I'm sorry. But so we're going to do that, and this is actually going to activate some sounds. So yeah, there you have that. So you can sort of have him standing there with his giant arsenal of Zyudenchi. So pretty neat. You could probably, you know, if you display it like this, fix it up a little so it looks a little better. Maybe have like some of the other Zyudenchi or the Zyudenryu in front of it. You know, have Zaktor there, have all the others surrounding it. Do that 10 formation they have in the show. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I needed to show you. Sorry about the little bit of space issues. I'm going to kind of set these guys next to each other so there's a better final frame. But overall, I really do dig this mech. I've been saying all throughout the review, I really dig the design. I like him as Bragigas, I like Gigant Bragio, I like Gigant Kyoryuzin. I think it's pretty neat looking. I think the sounds for it are pretty nice. Like all the mecha have some sort of sounds to them. I like the fact that you can store a bunch of batteries here. It looks pretty impressive. There's a fair amount of playability to it based on the formations you can do. So yeah, I really, really dig it. I mean, there's a few things that could have been better. It's still a bit of a brick. Maybe had a little more movement with his neck and whatnot in another in Bragigas mode, but that really been weird with the Zyudenchi function, so just strike that. But overall, I really do enjoy it. If you're a fan of the show or you're a fan of Bragigas, I definitely don't think you'll be disappointed. It's a really nice mech like usual, and I think it's got a lot of different options for you, and it looks pretty nice on display in my opinion. It is kind of expensive, so just be aware of that. I would keep an eye out on the aftermarket and, you know, try to get a little bit lower price than retail because the shipping is actually what gets you. It is a more expensive mech, but it's actually the shipping that gets you on these. So, but if you can afford it and you really want one, I don't think you'll be disappointed because personally I really do like it. But yeah, I think that's about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com. Until next time, this is Dawson Ryder, signing out.